The night sky had always fascinated humanity. For thousands of years, people had looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. Were they alone, or did other minds exist among the endless points of light? Scientists, dreamers, and ordinary people all shared this question. Over time, technology grew stronger. Radio waves were sent far into space. Telescopes scanned the heavens, and powerful satellites listened for whispers in the cosmic dark. The answer finally came, but not in the way humanity expected. On a quiet evening, astronomers in several observatories noticed strange signals coming from deep space. The patterns were too regular, too structured to be natural. At first, many thought it might be a mistake in the instruments. But soon the signals grew stronger, clearer, and then something incredible happened. Objects were detected moving toward Earth, large enough to be ships. The governments of the world held secret meetings. Military forces prepared not with open aggression but with silent readiness. The public was told little at first. People continued their lives working, studying, and dreaming, but slowly, whispers began to spread. News channels hinted at strange activity in the sky. Social networks filled with rumors. Some feared invasion, others imagined friendly contact. But deep down, almost everyone felt the same. The waiting was over. When the alien fleet finally entered the solar system, the world watched. Giant ships like shadows against the stars moved with perfect formation. They were beautiful yet frightening, machines of unknown design. The aliens did not hide. They sent signals in many frequencies, testing, searching almost as if they were announcing their arrival. On Earth, people did not panic. There were no mass riots, no screams of terror. Instead, humans stood still, eyes lifted upward as if they had been expecting this day all along. Children pressed their faces against windows to see the sky. Farmers paused in their fields. Pilots in their aircraft looked at the horizon with a quiet wonder. It was not fear. It was silence. The silence puzzled the aliens. They had studied countless civilizations in the past, or so their history recorded. Weak species usually reacted with chaos when faced with the unknown. Fear spread like fire, leaders stumbled, and order collapsed. But humanity was different. The calmness of the planet below unsettled the alien commanders. To them, it seemed as if Earth was not surprised. In a control room deep inside one of the alien ships, their leaders gathered. Holographic images of Earth's cities appeared before them. They watched as humans went about their daily lives with strange composure. There were no vast migrations, no desperate attempts to hide underground. Instead, the humans observed. They built no great defenses in sight, but something about their behavior suggested readiness. One commander spoke in a low tone. "They do not behave like prey. They behave like hunters waiting in silence." The others disagreed at first. Some believed humans were simply too primitive to understand the danger. Others thought humans were frozen by fear. But doubts grew, little by little. Something about the planet felt unusual. Meanwhile, on Earth, leaders were making decisions carefully. The United Nations held emergency meetings, but these were not filled with panic. Instead, calm voices discussed strategies. Humanity had long suspected that contact with other life was possible. For decades, secret programs had studied the potential outcomes. While the public looked up at the sky in curiosity, hidden forces prepared quietly in the background. Scientists refined communication methods. Military leaders checked systems hidden deep underground. Astronomers tracked every movement of the alien fleet. From space stations orbiting Earth to submarines under the seas, humanity's eyes were everywhere. The most surprising part was not that the aliens had come. It was that humans had always believed they would. For centuries, human imagination had told stories of visitors from the stars. From ancient legends of sky gods to modern films about alien life, the human mind had never truly accepted the idea of being alone. Some might have called it fantasy, but in truth it was preparation. The idea had lived so deeply in human culture that when the moment finally came, it felt familiar. As the alien ships grew closer, tension increased. But it was not the panic the aliens had expected. It was more like the calm before a storm. Humanity was waiting carefully, patiently, as though they were holding their breath. In a small town, a boy looked at the sky with his telescope. He whispered to his father, "They are here, aren't they?" His father only nodded. Neither was afraid. Both had seen movies, read books, and heard stories of this moment. They knew that the sky would not stay silent forever. In a great city, a scientist checked her instruments and smiled faintly. "We are not alone," she said to her colleagues. They did not cry out or panic. Instead, they recorded data, calm and focused, as though this was another step in a long journey. In military bases, commanders issued orders quietly. No weapons were fired, but everything was ready. Satellites aligned, ships moved into silent positions, and soldiers stood alert. The aliens watching from orbit could not understand it. Why did this species not tremble? Why did they not hide? The silence of Earth became a riddle that unsettled their confidence. One alien officer remarked, "Perhaps they welcome us." Another replied, "Or perhaps they are waiting for us." The longer they observed, the more the second idea grew in their minds. For humanity, this was not the beginning of fear, it was the beginning of truth. They had always believed in the possibility of others. They had waited through centuries of doubt and silence. Now, as the alien fleet hovered above, humanity stood still, calm and ready. The silent sky was no longer empty. It was alive with the presence of visitors. But for the first time in the history of those visitors, they were the ones who felt uncertain, because in that silence, in that strange calmness, the aliens realized something they had never faced before. The humans had been waiting for them. The alien fleet hung silently above Earth, their ships like dark stars against the night. People across the planet watched with uneasy fascination. The news spread everywhere now. No one could deny it anymore. Humanity was not alone. The visitors had come. In a great hall of glass and steel, world leaders gathered for a secret meeting. The air was tense but not chaotic. Representatives from many nations sat around a long table, their faces calm but serious. Screens showed live images of the alien ships, their enormous forms orbiting above like watchful eyes. One general spoke first. "They are waiting for us to answer. We cannot stay silent forever." A scientist adjusted her glasses. "We must be careful. They are advanced. Their ships defy our understanding. But notice, they have not attacked. They are watching us, perhaps judging." The leaders nodded. They all knew this moment would decide the future. Humanity could show fear or it could show strength. The choice had to be made wisely. The alien broadcast high above Earth. Inside one of the great alien vessels, a council of commanders prepared their first message to humanity. Their language was complex, built of tones and symbols, but their technology allowed them to shape it into something humans could understand. The broadcast began. Across Earth, every screen flickered, the televisions, the phones, the giant billboards in cities, even small radios in quiet villages. A voice strange but clear filled the world. "People of Earth, we come from beyond the stars. We have crossed the dark of space to reach you. We will study your world. We will test your kind. You will listen, and you will obey." The words were heavy, spoken with authority, as if the outcome had already been decided. For a few seconds, silence followed. Then, to the surprise of the aliens, a human voice answered. The human reply. The response came not from one country, but from a united voice chosen carefully by world leaders. It was a woman, calm and steady, speaking in English but translated instantly into many languages across the globe. "Welcome, travelers. We hear your message, but we do not bow and we do not fear. We will listen and we will speak. We are prepared for this day. If you wish to study us, then understand we too are studying you." Her words carried across Earth and back into the alien ships. Billions of humans listened, and for the first time in history, the entire planet felt as if it was breathing together. The alien commanders exchanged uneasy glances. This was not the voice of a frightened species. It was the voice of one that had expected them. The first meeting days later, the aliens proposed direct contact. A single ship descended slowly toward Earth, landing in a wide desert chosen for safety. Cameras captured every second, broadcasting it to the world. The ship was massive, like a floating mountain of metal. It opened with a hiss and outstepped the visitors. They were tall, their skin shimmering with strange patterns, their eyes glowing faintly. They moved with precision, each step controlled. Waiting for them were human representatives, scientists, diplomats, and soldiers standing silently at the edge of the landing site. The two groups faced each other under the hot sun. An alien leader stepped forward, his voice translated through a device. "You stand before a power greater than your own. We come to measure you. Do not resist. The human diplomat, a man in a plain suit, stepped forward as well. His expression was calm, almost too calm. "You are welcome to speak with us, but you will not command us. We are not prey to be measured. We are a people who have lived through storms, wars, and endless challenges. We will listen, but we will also respond." The alien tilted his head, unsettled. No species had ever spoken this way to them. Testing humanity. The aliens did not attack, but they began their tests. They released small machines into the air to measure Earth's environment. They studied human cities, sending drones to hover silently above streets and homes. They even sent challenges, puzzles of technology and knowledge, to see how humans would react. Each time, the response shocked them. When they released a virus in a controlled area, human doctors identified it in hours and created defenses in days. When they tested human psychology with strange signals, the people resisted, using their creativity to fight back. When they showed humans advanced machines, human engineers quickly began to understand their design. It was as if the species had been training for this moment all along. The growing unease inside their ships. The alien commanders argued. "They adapt too quickly," one said. "Every test we send, they learn from it." "They should be afraid," another replied, "yet they stand calm. Even their children watch us without fear." One commander whispered the thought that was growing stronger with every passing day. They were waiting for us. Somehow they knew. Human unity on Earth, something remarkable was happening. Nations that once disagreed now worked together. Scientists shared discoveries across borders. Soldiers trained side by side. Ordinary people sent messages of hope to one another across the world. For once, humanity was united, not by fear, but by purpose. They were not simply reacting to the aliens. They were preparing to face them as equals. Even in small villages far from the cities, people lit fires and looked up at the night sky with determination. Teachers explained to their students that this was history in the making. Farmers continued their work but carried radios to hear the latest news. Pilots flew with extra care, scanning the skies. It was as though the entire planet had silently agreed, "We will not show weakness." The alien realization. The first contact, which the aliens believed would be simple, became something far greater. They had expected to see fear, confusion, and disorder. Instead, they saw steady eyes and calm voices. The alien leader, returning to his ship after the desert meeting, looked once more at the humans standing proudly under the sun. He had faced many worlds before, but this one was different. The silence of their courage unsettled him. He finally admitted what none of them had wanted to say aloud. These humans are not surprised. They are ready. This is not their first meeting with the unknown. In their own way, they have been preparing for us across centuries. And so, the first contact ended not with conquest, but with a new kind of tension, an unspoken challenge. The aliens had arrived to test humanity, but now they felt as though they were the ones being tested. The humans had shown no fear, and that changed everything. The alien fleet remained in Earth's orbit like a ring of shadows. Their ships gleamed in the sunlight, silent but watchful. On the ground, life continued, though nothing felt normal anymore. Everyone knew that the visitors were above them, studying, measuring, and waiting. But what the aliens did not realize was that humanity was also studying them. Silent observers, in observatories, scientists tracked every move the alien ships made. Satellites captured details of their patterns, their formations, and even the bursts of energy from their engines. Engineers worked day and night, comparing the new data with human technology. In underground labs, computers simulated alien systems, testing how they might function. The more humans learned, the faster they adapted. The alien ships were superior, yes, but not incomprehensible. Human curiosity was relentless. The aliens, meanwhile, continued their tests. They sent strange signals across human communication networks, filling the air with pulses of energy meant to confuse and disrupt. But human technicians quickly learned how to filter the signals, blocking them as if they were nothing more than background noise. One alien commander frowned as he watched. "They resist too easily. They should not understand our methods so quickly." Another replied, "Perhaps they are cleverer than we thought," but deep inside, both felt something more troubling. Humans were not reacting like a species facing the unknown for the first time. The medical trial to measure human biology, the aliens released small probes that carried new microbes into isolated areas. It was meant to be harmless to them but challenging for Earth's immune systems. They wanted to see how fast humans could adapt. Doctors in the affected regions discovered the new microbes within hours. Laboratories quickly identified the threat, and teams across the world began working on countermeasures. Within days, treatments were developed. Within weeks, the microbes were no longer a danger. The aliens were astonished. On many worlds they had visited before, such challenges had broken entire species. But humans treated it as if it were just another illness, nothing more. One alien researcher studied human medical history and was shocked. Plagues, viruses, and countless diseases had struck humanity for centuries, yet each time humans had learned, adapted, and grown stronger. Their bodies and minds carried a history of survival written deep within. This is no ordinary species, the researcher said. They are forged by struggle. They expect challenges, and they overcome them. The psychological test frustrated by their failed trials, the aliens tried something different. They used subtle signals, frequencies that touch the human mind, to create fear and confusion. On many planets, such signals had driven populations into chaos. But on Earth, something unexpected happened. Humans did feel the pressure. It made some anxious, some restless, but instead of collapsing, they resisted. Families comforted one another. Communities shared words of encouragement. Leaders spoke calmly, urging unity. In cities, people began to sing together on rooftops at night, raising their voices as if to push back against the invisible weight pressing on their minds. In small towns, neighbors gathered to tell stories, reminding each other of their strength. The aliens observed with disbelief. Their technology should have unsettled humans completely, but instead, it revealed something powerful: the human spirit. One alien whispered to another, "They fight fear with hope. They fight confusion with unity. This is not weakness, it is strength." The copying of machines. The aliens decided to allow humans to see fragments of their technology, expecting them to be overwhelmed. They showed glimpses of their hovering drones, energy weapons, and floating transport vehicles. But instead of falling into despair, human engineers grew excited. They studied the movements of the drones, the hum of their engines, and the glow of their weapons. They began drawing diagrams, making models, and experimenting with new designs. Within weeks, human scientists had created crude but functional versions of alien tools. They were less powerful, less refined, but they worked. When the aliens discovered this, they were stunned. No species had ever copied their machines so quickly. Humans had not only observed, but had already begun improving. "They are imitators," an alien commander said bitterly. "No," another corrected. "They are creators. They see what we show them, and they make it their own." The history lesson in an underground command center, human leaders discussed what they had learned. Maps of the alien fleet glowed on the walls. Charts displayed data gathered from tests and encounters. A general spoke firmly. "They believe they are studying us, but it is we who are studying them." A historian added softly, "They do not understand who we are. For thousands of years we have faced invaders, disasters, and endless wars. Every time we survived. Every time we grew stronger. To us this is not new. It is only another chapter in our story," the leaders agreed. Humanity's hidden strength was not just technology. It was the ability to endure, to learn, and to fight back when challenged. The alien debate back aboard the alien flagship. Tension grew among the commanders. Some still believed humans could be controlled, but others were beginning to doubt. "They adapt too fast," one argued. "Every challenge we give them only makes them stronger." "They are not afraid of us," another added. "Their silence is not ignorance, it is confidence." The highest commander remained quiet for a long moment before speaking. "Perhaps they were waiting for us. Perhaps they have always been waiting." No one disagreed. Everyday strength beyond the leaders and scientists, ordinary people also revealed humanity's hidden strength. Farmers continued their harvest despite the strange ships above. Teachers explained the situation to children in calm, steady voices. Artists painted pictures of hope, showing humans standing tall beside the stars. In one small village, a young girl wrote in her notebook, "They think they are testing us, but maybe we are testing them. Maybe they will learn what humans are really like." Her words, simple but true, spread across the internet and inspired millions. Humanity's spirit was not only alive, it was growing stronger every day. The silent warning. The aliens began to feel something they had not expected: unease. Every test they made revealed not weakness but resilience. Every signal they sent was answered with courage. Every machine they showed was soon copied. It was as if Earth itself was sending them a silent warning. We are not the ones being studied. You are. The more they watched, the clearer the truth became. Humanity was not caught unprepared. Humanity had been waiting quietly, patiently for this very moment. And with each passing day, the hidden strength of Earth revealed itself more clearly. The aliens had come to test humanity. But now they realized humanity was testing them. The alien fleet had now circled Earth for many weeks. Their great ships hung in the sky like silent watchers, their metallic forms gleaming in the sun. People had grown used to seeing them. At first there had been shock, then curiosity, and now only calm determination. Humanity had not broken. Instead, it had grown stronger. The aliens knew this, and it unsettled them. Whispers among commanders. Inside the alien flagship, the commanders met in their grand chamber. Blue lights glowed on the walls, displaying data about Earth, its cities, its oceans, its people. One commander tapped a screen showing human activity. They prepare in silence. Look at their movements. Their armies train together. Their scientists share knowledge across the planet. This is not normal. Another commander shook his head. Perhaps it is a bluff. They cannot match our power. The first leaned forward, and yet they resist every test we give. They learn too fast. They adapt too quickly. Each time we push, they push back harder. The highest commander listened without speaking. His eyes, dark and thoughtful, scanned the images of Earth. At last he said, "We came to measure them, but now I begin to wonder if they are measuring us." The room grew silent. None dared to disagree. The calm below on Earth, the alien presence no longer caused fear. People went about their daily lives, but with a new sense of unity. Children studied harder in schools, inspired by the idea that they were living in a historic time. Workers built faster, scientists researched deeper, and soldiers trained with more focus. In every country and every city, humanity seemed to stand taller. A teacher told her students, "Do not be afraid of the ships in the sky. They may have power, but we have something stronger, our minds, our hearts, and our unity." The children nodded, their young eyes bright with determination. The desert meeting. Revisited, the aliens requested another face-to-face meeting. Once again, a ship descended into the desert, and once again human representatives stood ready. Cameras captured every moment, broadcasting it across the world. The alien leader stepped forward, his voice steady but carrying a hidden frustration. "We have studied you, and we find you unusual. You resist too easily. You should fear us." The human diplomat, the same man who had spoken before, looked at him calmly. "We do not fear you. Fear is not the way of humanity. We have faced too many storms to tremble at new winds." The alien narrowed his eyes. "Then perhaps you do not understand our strength," the human replied with quiet confidence. "Perhaps it is you who does not understand ours." The exchange was brief, but its meaning spread everywhere. People across the world replayed the words again and again. For the first time, many realized that humanity was no longer only reacting, it was challenging. Hidden preparations. While the aliens observed, humans prepared in silence. Beneath mountains, deep underground, hidden facilities came alive. Fleets of experimental aircraft and spacecraft were assembled in secret bases. For decades, some governments had suspected that contact with other life might come. Quietly, they had prepared. Now those preparations were revealed, not to the aliens but to the human leaders who gathered in secret councils. One general explained, "We do not show everything yet, but if the time comes, the world will see that we are not defenseless." Scientists displayed devices created from fragments of alien technology, already copied and improved. Engines that could run without fuel for months. Weapons that could disable machines with pulses of energy. Communication systems that no signal could break. The aliens believed they were in control. They did not yet realize that humans had already built answers to their power. The first challenge. The turning point came unexpectedly. One night, a fleet of alien drones entered Earth's atmosphere. They were not meant to destroy, but to intimidate. The drones hovered over major cities, casting long shadows on the buildings below. People looked up, their faces calm but firm. Suddenly, in one city, the drones stopped moving. One by one, their lights flickered and died. They fell from the sky, powerless. The aliens in orbit stared in disbelief. Their machines had been disabled. How? Demanded one commander. On Earth, human scientists smiled quietly. They had discovered the drone's weaknesses and had used new devices to disable them. It was the first visible sign that humanity could fight back. The people cheered, not wildly, but with pride. Across the world, the message spread: we are not helpless. We are ready. The uneasy realization. The alien commanders gathered again, their voices sharp with tension. They should not be able to do this. One said, their technology is primitive compared to ours. Another answered, perhaps it was primitive before. But not anymore. They are learning faster than any species we have ever seen. The highest commander spoke softly. We came to test them. But with every test they grow stronger. Perhaps the test is not ours to give. Perhaps it is theirs. The room fell silent again. It was a silence filled with unease. Unity of Earth. The success against the drones spread unity across Earth even more. For the first time in history, nations that had once been rivals shared full trust. Leaders spoke not as separate powers but as voices of one people. We are one planet, declared a representative in a global address. We may be many nations, but when we look at the sky we see the same ships. We will face them not as divided but as united. The words echoed across radios, televisions, and the internet. People repeated them in their homes, their schools, their streets. The aliens had thought Earth would be easy to control. Instead, they had given humanity a reason to stand together. The alien doubt in the alien fleet. Soldiers whispered to one another. For the first time, doubt touched their minds. They had always believed in their superiority, but now they questioned. One soldier asked his commander, "What if we are not the hunters here? What if we are the prey?" The commander gave no answer. His silence was enough. The turning point, it was now clear to both sides. The balance had shifted. The aliens had arrived with confidence, believing they would measure and control humanity. But their every step had made humanity stronger, wiser, and more united. The humans had waited in silence, watched with patience, and prepared in secret. Now, with their unity and resilience revealed, they stood on the edge of something new. The turning point had come. For the first time, the aliens realized that the humans were not waiting in fear. They were waiting with purpose, and the greatest question of all now hung in the air. Who was truly in control? The air above Earth was no longer silent. The alien fleet, once a quiet presence in the sky, now moved with tension. Their commanders spoke in quiet voices filled with doubt. Across the planet, humanity watched, waited, and prepared. The weeks of tests, the calm of the people, the unity of the nations, all of it had led to this moment. The aliens had thought they came to study humans. Now they began to wonder if humans had been studying them. The Council of Commanders. Inside the largest ship, the alien commanders gathered once more. The hall was filled with soft light. Holograms of Earth floated in the air, showing cities, forests, oceans, and humans standing together. The highest commander spoke slowly. We believed we were here to measure them, but now I believe they have been waiting for us. A younger commander frowned. Waiting for what? We have not made any demand. We have not attacked. The commander looked across the room. They have known of our coming long before we arrived. Their silence was not ignorance, it was preparation. Every step they took since we arrived has been deliberate. Another voice whispered, they did not fight us. They learned us. A heavy quiet filled the room. The realization settled in their minds like a shadow. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was ready. Earth's quiet strength, across the world. Ordinary people carried on, but they were not the same. Farmers worked under the shade of strange ships above them. Children played in parks while above, the alien fleet shifted in formation. Cities moved as if part of a single organism, guided by invisible threads of unity. Scientists worked in open laboratories and hidden underground facilities. They built tools, machines, and strategies without revealing their full plans to the world. Soldiers trained with calm determination. Leaders spoke with steady voices. Humanity was no longer reacting. It was leading itself. In a remote village, a teacher spoke to her students about what had happened. They thought we would panic, she said softly. But we stood together. They thought we would fall apart. But we built strength. They thought they would control us. But we were ready for this day. Her students listened quietly. They could not understand everything. But they understood one truth. The moment had come for humans to stand as one. The secret fleet, deep underground, humanity revealed part of its hidden plan. Secret shipyards opened for the first time. Ships designed in silence for decades now rose toward the surface. These were not mere war machines, they were symbols of a people united, built to carry humanity forward. They were ready not only to defend Earth, but to reach out to the stars. Engineers worked quietly, assembling engines powered by new energy sources, designs learned in secret from the alien technology they had studied. In control rooms around the world, maps showed the positions of the alien fleet. Leaders spoke not of surrender but of dialogue and of readiness. One general said, "We prepared for years quietly. Now they see what they never expected. A people united. A people waiting." The final meeting, the aliens requested one final meeting. It was not in a desert this time. Instead, they chose a floating platform in the middle of the ocean, far from any city. The world watched in silence. On one side of the platform stood the alien commanders, tall and glowing under the strange light of their ships. On the other side stood human leaders, surrounded by representatives from every nation. The highest alien commander stepped forward. His voice was calm but filled with something like respect. "We have come across many worlds. We believed ourselves superior. But we find in you something different. You do not fear us. You do not collapse before us. You prepare. You adapt. You unite. You are ready." The human diplomat stepped forward. "We did not wait in silence out of fear. We waited because we believed this day would come. We prepared because we knew contact was inevitable. We stand ready, not to bow, not to surrender, but to meet you as equals." The silence between them was long, filled with meaning. The aliens had come to measure humanity, but in that moment they realized they had entered something far deeper. The truth revealed. The human diplomat continued, speaking for the whole planet. "We did not hide our preparation to frighten you. We did it to ensure we could speak with knowledge, not fear. For centuries we have looked to the sky. For centuries we have wondered if we were alone. And for centuries we prepared not to conquer but to protect. Not to fight but to survive." Across Earth, billions heard the words. Children stopped to listen. Workers paused their work. Soldiers lowered their weapons, not in defeat but in solidarity. The aliens listened too. Their ships hung still above the ocean platform. They had expected resistance, but not unity. They had expected chaos, but not preparation. They had expected fear, but not courage. And they understood something profound. They had not found a weak world. They had found a world that had been ready for them from the start. The moment of realization. The highest alien commander stepped back, lowering his weapon. His voice was soft but certain. "You were waiting. Not to surrender, but to meet us prepared. This changes everything. You are not a world to be tested. You are a world to be understood." The human diplomat nodded. "We will teach you what it means to live together as one people. But first you must understand. This is not the moment of your arrival. It is the moment you met a people ready for you." The silence was heavy, but it was no longer tense. It was filled with understanding. The aliens had come to test humanity, but humanity had shown them something greater, that a people who prepare with patience and unity can face even the unknown without fear. The new beginning across the world. People looked up at the sky and saw the alien fleet still hovering above them, but they no longer saw threat. They saw possibility. They had stood together in the silent sky. They had waited. They had prepared. And now the moment of realization had come. Humanity was not a species waiting to be conquered. Humanity was a species ready to meet the stars, and the aliens knew it now. The moment they realized humanity had been waiting, for them was not a moment of fear. It was a moment of respect, for the first time in history, two worlds stood together, looking forward to what came next.